Hi!
Hi, Vancouver!
Hey, Vancouver.
I don't even know what episode we're on because we're so far behind for uploading.
It's 14, I think.
I thought I was editing 14 last night.
Might be 15 then.
I don't
We
know.
have been here a long time,
We
and
have.
you've been here with us for that journey, and we'd like to
Patience.
thank you for your patience and your ongoing support, and your clear love of Starbucks and comics and us.
You
We're
always
starting
have
with
lots.
me.
Well,
Really?
you always have lots to say.
That's true. Okay, I'll try to be quick so I don't eat up the entirety of the camera.
But remember, we can always write about it later.
Yeah, I do, actually.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons I won't be talking about UFOlofy, because we're doing like a big, massive write-up for it for
I haven't
Friday.
read that one yet. So
It's so good. It's so good.
So what three things is Aaron? You know what? Aaron can talk about all those things. 'Cause
Oh no,
don't
wait, I
think
do
I'm
have
good at anything.
UFOlofy in here, but I was going to do Woods instead of UFOlofy. But UFOlofy, you should read this, because it's really good. And for reasons you can find out. Jenna, have you read this yet?
No, but I accidentally spoiled because I flipped to the end and I saw it and it made me really happy.
Okay, good, because that means I can talk about it. So, this comic, oh my, okay. Tinian, you are fantastic.
Tynan.
Tynan?
It's Tynan.
Okay.
I know.
I mispronounce things all the time, and I feel bad about it, except I don't. So,
Everyone
Tinian,
mispronounces
you
it.
are incredible. You are a fantastic writer. I really enjoying both of these books right now. UFOlofy is clearly getting like the big God of Comics treatment for Friday, which should be up by the time that you see this. And this comic is phenomenal. You want to talk about building up a mythology and following through on it. The closest equivalent I can think of in like another form of media to this would be Banshee, where it doesn't really have a strong overarching narrative because it doesn't need one. The characters are strong enough to carry it on their own. There is an event that has happened, and it's just people reacting to those events and continuing to react. And it's phenomenal because of it. You never really have any idea what the physical geography of this place is, and you don't need to. It just adds to the drama of what the hell is going on.
Well, and plus, like, the characters themselves don't know anything about this world
Nothing.
either, so
Nothing.
we're as lost as they are.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
it's phenomenal. The characterization in this, the older brother, oh my
Yeah.
god, the older brother is just one of the most vile people in comics. You think Umbridge is bad? Umbridge takes notes from this guy.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for like a literary character who is like the very worst, and then you have that balanced against some people that are the very best or are trying to be, despite themselves in a lot of cases. Like the character who was back as of this issue, sort of, maybe not really. Oh god, it's terrifying. Everything in this book is fantastic. So cannot recommend enough. Please read this. Please support it. Yeah, it's just really good art. It's really good art when it has to be.
Did you see the limited edition prints that they did?
No.
Oh yeah,
I
you did.
No.
bought the glow in the dark one. I'm so excited.
There's a glow-in-the-dark limited print
I know.
edition, and
Yeah.
you should get that right now.
Should. Although you might not be able to because it's limited edition.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about Bloodshot. Bloodshot was really interesting, but this comic is much, much better. And the reason why is because you're dealing with a guy who has absolute control of his mind. You can picture a combination of Magneto and Charles Xavier, with a bunch of telekinesis thrown in for good measure. He's pretty much God. And he's working towards making the world a better place, working towards post-scarcity economics. So the idea being that everybody has their needs looked after so that they're free to investigate their own creative endeavors, whatever those might be. It's a phenomenal concept. And one culturally that we're probably heading into. So there's a lot of interesting stuff and parallels going on with this as far as politics and just technology and various other stuff. The story is fantastic. In this particular comic, that guy ends up facing off against another guy who is a Russian cosmonaut who hit the edge of space and came back having seen the face of God. And because of this, he can alter energy and matter around himself. So instead of being in control of his own mind, he's in control of the immediate world around himself. So it becomes this weird standoff between a guy who is in complete control of himself and his ambitions and dreams, versus a guy who does not control any of that, but controls literally everything else. So there's all this like weird divergent timeline, space-time philosophy going on between these two figures that are pretty much God in any real respect. So instead of it being like the knockdown, drag-out fight that you get like people punching each other, it's the knockdown, drag-out fight of people trying to recognize who they are and what it is that they actually want to do. And it's phenomenal. It's really, really interesting stuff. If you're looking for really intelligent sci-fi in comics, this is it. This is everything that you could possibly want. It's phenomenal, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's Valiant. It's really, really good Valiant.
Obviously, it's good.
Well, no, there was Shadow Man and Eternal Warrior, which were both terrible. This is fantastic. So Miss Marvel is a little. She's a young woman who has gained superpowers and has decided that she's going to be a hero and is basing herself off of Carol Danvers, the original Miss Marvel, who has become Captain Marvel and is one of the greatest heroes in the Marvel universe and has like an incredible comic in and of herself. This one is better. This is, you'll hear like Joe Quesada. Is it Quesada?
Yeah.
I got somebody's name right.
Whoa.
You'll hear Quesada and a lot of the older generation talk about how good Spider-Man was back in the day and how Spider-Man selling his marriage to the devil was supposed to like reset Spider-Man to that level of creativity. And really what they're talking about is just this idea that anything can happen, that they're still building up a mythology. And they didn't do that. They just retread a bunch of stuff. This comic has that. That same level of creativity and growth and just this sense of youth. It's fantastic. This is one of the titles that I use to get people into comics, which is one of the reasons I keep having to buy the first couple of trades here, because I lend them out and I don't get them back. But I do get people reading comics, which, is kind of a good thing. So really good artwork, but the thing that happens here is that you've got the two of them teaming up for the first time, and Kamala Khan, the young woman who is Miss Marvel, is very much a geek and is very much like hero-struck, and has like that celebrity moment. So you've got that going on. You've got Carol Danvers not really being quite sure how to handle that, but at the same time being very accepting and nurturing. And they build a relationship out of this comic. You also get one of the greatest things I've ever freaking seen in any of the modern comics. You know how you've got, you need to make the tough choices because we're grimdark and we're real heroes and blah, blah, blah. And it's always just idiotic, and if you take the time to really think about it, you're like, no, this is just stupid. This is just really, really dumb. They find kittens.
Aww, kitties.
They literally find, like, a room full of kittens that have been cared for, but the person that was caring for them is gone. So they need to decide what to... Look, kittens. Kittens.
She's smashing his face with her face.
Yeah. So it's like, do we save the kittens or do we leave them behind? And
Save the kittens.
they kind of find a way to do both, because the thing is they're facing the idiocy that is the incumbent of Secret Wars. So if they don't solve that, everybody's dead, including the kittens. So they make sure that the kittens are as cared for as they can, and then they move on. And that's so much better than all of this stupid, no, we needed to make the grimdark decision because the grimdark, yar, we're adult and mature.
DC movies.
Oh, God. Yeah.
We don't know how Batman v Superman is going to go.
We know exactly how it's going to go. It's going to be terrible, and I can't wait to see it. I see that you've got this one as well.
I do. We can talk about it now together.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Blood.
This was fantastic. Okay, do it.
No, but
Do
no.
it. Do it.
Spoilers.
Do it. Do it.
I can't
Do it.
Nope.
I'm just going to leave that there.
What is it?
Oh, that's dead people on that page. I don't want to see that.
Okay, so
For fear of spoilers.
the guy who wrote a comic called Luther Strode, which I think Pete,
Pete?
you actually turned me on to Luther Strode, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So the guy who wrote Luther Strode is writing this. This is like his next big comic, and my God, did you like this?
I did like it a lot, yeah.
Pete, did you like it?
I did, yes.
This is phenomenal. So, guy who loses his ability to sleep due to government experimentation, gains superpowers, which is something I can identify with quite a lot. Don't rest your head. You gain powers and insight and pattern recognition, the ability to ramble on and breathe. Just breathe.
He did kind of remind me of you, not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is why. So I know exactly what this is like. I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep right now. So,
like all day today.
because dude isn't sleeping, he's operating in a waking dream state, which I've been there, and believe me, it's not fun. It happens about day 3 without sleep. Don't do it. Just don't. It's not okay. But you start to recognize patterns, or at least he's starting to recognize the patterns underlying society and culture as a whole. And he's having difficulty differentiating between what's real and what isn't, which, again, about day 3. But you do gain that sort of insight through madness that is a common theme in a lot of ancient mythologies. In this case, he's become kind of a PI, and he's investigating a guy who has been wandering around without pattern, which becomes a pattern in and of itself, murdering thousands of people
All
over...
across America.
Yeah. It's fantastic. This is really well built.
Sounds like something that happened in this comic.
That's localized to a single city, like it's based within a single city, because that's where the serial killers are coming from.
Well, yeah, they come from the city, but they don't kill from
Yeah.
the city. They kill
Everywhere else.
everywhere else.
Yeah. But we'll get to it. It's beautiful.
You're not talking about Nailbiter yet.
What we should be.
But we will be very, very soon. And so yeah, this is an incredible first issue. What did you think?
I really liked it. I thought the character was like John Flood was really well built.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was really crazy, but at the same time, like I don't know, he was kind of likable.
Yeah. Well, his insanity is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy people don't know they're crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy people do have an internal logic that is specific to them, and if you can figure that out, then you can understand where their insanity is coming from and where it's going. Luther Strode had it. This character definitely has it. So again, like this is probably my favorite comic out this week. Just the setup, the build towards it, and just everything that ends up happening in it.
Mm-hmm.
From just page 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really well done. I liked it. I'm excited to see where it's going. Only 6 issues though, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
So was the original Luther Strode, and that had like Chronicle of Luther Strode and Story of Luther Strode,
Legend
and
of
yeah.
Everything.
Sign of the Return of the Revenge of Luther Strode. Like,
Actually, there's a new Luther Strode coming out, isn't there?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's called the Legacy of Luther Strode.
whatever. Luther Strode is a lot of fun. This is much better. This is, if I'm going to pick one comic this week for you to read, this is it. And finally, I'm going to wrap up my ramble, my sleep-deprived ramble, with Nailbiter, which you haven't read, but you should. You really should.
Lend them to me. Or
Okay. Maybe I will.
Nathan's going back to school.
yeah, let's go back to
Okay,
school.
so
It's not
Nailbiter is about a town, and this town has given birth to 16 serial killers. They've all come out of this place. They've murdered lots of
Things in
people.
the water.
As a matter of fact,
Oh.
there's a giant Aztec temple
Oh, man, I
at the
didn't
bottom
know
of
about
a... Yeah. As of last issue, though, we found out that it's fake.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. So there's
Okay.
something
Sometimes.
more going on in this, and we start getting more and more hints of just what's going on in this issue, and it's fantastic. We also get the titular character, the Nailbiter himself. We get the breakup between him and the sheriff from back when they were kids. Ooh! And just the aftermath of it, and
Aw.
it's so sad, particularly given what this guy immediately does thereafter.
It's so bad.
There's so much tragedy and heroism and villainy and psychosis in this one book. I cannot recommend this enough. I think there's 2 trades out now, or is it
Yep.
just the 1 trade?
Nope, 2 trades.
Okay.
Is
I
the
had
second
them.
one? Oh.
Yep.
Get them trades.
I have them both for like a
Read
while.
this comic. This
Read them
comic is
immediately.
amazing.
It is.
If you like the Hannibals, or the True Detectives,
Yeah.
or
I don't know what he's doing right now.
or the stuff. I just sometimes do accents when I'm really tired.
Okay.
They're not really identifiable or from anywhere.
Or
They just
for-
And
kind
I
of
thought you
pop
were
up.
just like
Reason?
implying that
They're all Hicks.
Not at all. Not at all. This is a phenomenal comic. It's just incredibly well done, beautifully drawn. So what did you buy this week?
What did I buy this week?
Yeah.
I bought Deadly Class number 15.
It's a goodbye.
It is a goodbye. So Deadly Class, for those who don't know, is about a boy who goes to a high school, and high school drama ensues, except that the high school's for assassins.
I
And-
remember last time you said that
yeah.
someone broke up with someone and someone broke up with someone.
Yeah, that's about it. It's very high school drama, but like it's a notch 10. Because people die in
A lot.
breakups, like a lot. Like in this issue, somebody dies. I don't know who they are, but they died.
Well, we had a main character die a couple of issues ago, and the
Yeah.
fallout of that, because nobody knows what happened to her yet.
Yeah.
The faculty just outright murdered one of the students.
Yep.
Okay.
For
And
breaking
did
the
it in
rules.
secret. And we're like, yeah, so we don't need to explain where this person went. And so her boyfriend sort of
Is dealing with that in the last couple issues, and he's gone completely off the wagon.
by dealing with, we mean falling apart.
Completely. Like 100%. Because he goes and admits his feelings to the other girl that he cheated on his dead girlfriend with. And then she started dating his best friend. And then he just, like, lots of drugs,
Lots of drugs.
regrettable decisions. Even
So
more
many.
drugs. Super more drugs in this. Like, I thought last issue the guy was on a lot of drugs. No. He takes, like a giant bag of shrooms in this issue, and he just flips out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
My
cartoony and awesome and hilarious. This issue also, Lee Ruffridge has been doing. Luffridge has been doing the.
You're asking me for pronunciation?
I don't know why. Has been doing all the colors up until this issue, where they get a new colorist, Jordan Boyd,
Mhm.
and it's. I actually couldn't even tell that they got a different colorist. So,
Similar
other than
styles?
Interesting.
yeah, super similar styles.
It's a
other
really
than
cool cover.
it is.
This comic has traditionally had really, really good art.
Yeah.
Just very, very understated colors, so that when they do finally like break something out, like it sticks out and it sticks in your head.
Yeah. No, the scene where Marcus is on shrooms is pretty crazy.
Marcus is the main character.
Marcus is the main character, for
And
those who
the
don't
art
know.
style is like all over the place too, which
Yeah.
is perfect.
It
Why
is.
is John Kennedy in a Soviet astronaut
I
uniform?
think it's supposed to be Ronald Reagan.
That's even better.
Who
Because
was
it's
he
the 80s.
shooting?
His mom.
Oh my.
Because he's like, Marcus has gone nuts.
Yep.
Super nuts. And he's has a huge conspiracy that Saya has killed Maria, and he freaking tells her this issue, and then he gets punched in the face.
With good reason.
Yeah. She's like, no, I didn't do that. And he's like, I don't believe you. And he goes and he's just basically ruining the lives of all his friends around him. And yeah, and then it ends up with somebody dying. Not a main character, but somebody died. It wasn't good. And the bully from the first arc is back bullying Marcus again. And
Oh,
it's like,
fantastic.
you have 2 days to turn in your friends or turn in yourself, or I'm going to tell the faculty and you're all going to die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Intense.
Yep. That was the ultimatum given. So, and then he also like does some other stuff with new characters that were introduced
Yeah.
in the last issue.
Drug addicts.
Yeah, just basically more time with the drug addicts.
He's going down the wrong path.
Yeah, no, he's going down he's going to some bad places. And it's pretty sad. So yeah, Deadly Class is probably one of the indie comic that kind of hits me most emotionally all the time. I don't have most of Marcus's problems, but I sure can relate to a lot of them. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I continuously love every issue of this. It makes me sad that I don't have every single issue of this. Because I waited until the first trade. It's a big mistake on my part.
I picked up the Spire #2 because I wanted to give it another chance.
I really like
I
it.
grabbed it too, but I haven't read it yet.
I thought it was alright. Like, I definitely still leaves you very much in the dark, and it's very...
It's not explaining anything.
No.
It's giving you just enough info. It does the thing that Mad Max Fury Road did, where it gives you just enough that you know that there is more, and not enough to actually put it together.
Yeah.
Is what I'm finding.
So, yeah, I'm still not really sure about it. I'm going to be picking up issue 3, just because, like, the characters are intriguing enough, and the storyline is, like, interesting enough that I want to keep on reading it. The lettering is freaking insane in this. Like,
Oh God.
wow, okay.
Just the asides and the whispering?
Well, yeah, like the whispering, and then you'll be like walking into a conversation, and like the letters will be dropped in the first word because like you're walking into the conversation. So instead of hearing like how did this, it's like how did you do this, and it's just like yeah, it's very like movie-esque, and then like all of the people in the background having conversations, and that's all lettered and. It's just like
Oh my
this
god.
balloon of text, and she's like, "Holy crap! What do I even read?"
There's also people sort of whisper or do like little asides in the midst of conversations.
Yeah.
So the lettering will fade in and out as it's happening.
That was probably my favorite part of the first issue.
It's a lot more present in this issue for sure. But also interesting development with what's it,
Shay?
I don't
You're
know.
asking me for pronunciation.
I don't-
Why do people do this?
It's the A with like the little circle above it. I don't know how it's pronounced, so I'm just gonna call her Shaw.
Yeah.
But the girl that she was sleeping with looks like it's the younger daughter of
The Baroness who hates her?
yes,
The Baroness who hates her guts?
or the younger sister of the Baroness who is soon to become like the entire ruler of their Spire. So that's an interesting development there. But yeah, so that was very cool.
That should be properly terrifying.
Yes. And then I was up really late last night because I was reading Muirwood, which is now a comic series. But
Interesting.
it started off as a book series. So, yeah, basically this one is about a girl who has a magic pendant, which basically channels the forces of the medium, which is the magic in their world. But the thing is, through using the pendant, it's not a natural way of doing it, and therefore the forces of darkness slowly pollute the person that uses it, and like their skin will actually be stained with darkness
Cool.
if they use it too much. So this storyline is about a princess who is essentially locked into a tower. Her title's been stripped because her father, the king, divorces her mom and sends her off to live in an abbey. So this daughter is basically like the forgotten princess.
Yeah, get thee to a nunnery.
Yes. And he summons her because he needs someone, a female, who can use the power of the medium to get into this lost abbey where there's some sort of secret that's been hidden in there. So he basically orders her to go to this lost abbey and hires this assassin that just like really doesn't give a shit about anyone to go with her and protect her. So it was a really good start. The artwork is a little weak, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those really independent comic people. So of course, like, you know, you can find like the hidden gems of artists, but sometimes that's quite hard if you don't have the budget for it.
Yes.
But I didn't mind the art. Like, I think it's an
bad.
interesting style, and I think it fits the story. But yeah, I was kind of hoping that it'd be more like the cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely am looking forward to it. I really love the books, so
I've never read them. Now I kind of want to.
I have them on my Kindle if you want to borrow them. But yeah. Those were my picks. Well, I picked up a lot more, but
Show the stack. Show
it
the
was a
stack.
really big week for me.
It was pretty big.
And then 2 statues came in for me too.
Oh my gosh.
$500.
What did you grab?
Her Ganondorfer run! Oh my god, Jenna.
Look at this.
And that one. Yeah. UFOlofy, John
What was
Fled, The
that
Woods,
$500
Lady
for?
Mechanica, both covers. Either Jirni or Charizard, I'm not sure which one it is. It's backwards. We Stand on Guard, Cluster,
So good.
Red Sonja Conan, Wicked Divine. That's a reorder. Enormous Comics. And then either Charizard or Journey. Neverboy. Fiction, which was a reorder. Sons of the Devil, covers that I didn't get. And then my 2 statues.
A lot of comics.
I have a problem.
No, you don't.
So my pickups this week, I also picked up Spire and Shahrazad, and then I picked up the Angela's Asgard Volume 1 came in.
Have you read that yet?
I read the first issue, and I was waiting for the graphic novel because I liked the first issue a lot. I got Justice League, Gods and Monsters Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
The coolest character from that movie.
Oh God, yes.
Arclight number 2, which I'm really excited about. Lady Mechanica number 4. We Stand on Guard number 2, which I read a little bit of, and then Journey number 1, volume 2, which I'm really excited about because obviously Aspen. And Beacon Marion is the artist who picked it up because Paulo is starting his own series. This is the first comic that in Aspen history that is almost completely, or by this time now, it's finished. It's done. So it's gonna be on time.
Wow.
It was done, like he was finishing issue 5 at Comic-Con, and I was like, Jesus, that was awesome. And the colorist who's doing the inside, Juan, is him and Beacon are really good together. Like,
That's pretty.
yeah, honestly, V's stuff, when he first started, I wasn't a big fan, but I really respect how far he's grown, and like, you can see a lot of like Jim Lee and Michael Turner influence in his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I love about him
Some of the
and his journey is that her boobs have straps, because like Paulo's always just floated there. They were just magic boobs.
That's
that
not how it works.
Just they just don't have straps and stuff. And all of her costumes, like,
all boobs just magic.
she actually has boots, and like her stomach's covered, and like there's actually very little of her body like
Yeah, it looks like armor.
like that is actually showing. She's a genie, so she's like badass.
So why can't she have magic boobs then?
It's not that. It's just that Paulo's were ridiculous. Like.
Also, the Jinn are technically made of fire, the way that we're made out of clay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they still obey some certain physics.
I just love that I can actually find a cosplay this character because that there's so much more coverage and her boobs are normal size now. I read a little bit of the We Stand on Guard. It's
Horrifying.
I don't know much that happened in it yet. I just know that they show a little bit of the history of them, and I did see someone dies later on because I flipped through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought what I thought amusing was that I was talking with my uncle this weekend, and he was telling me about how California is actually almost out of water.
Okay.
They have like a couple months left, and basically 10% of it's used by citizens, and the rest is used by the almond fields and cattle.
And Nestle.
And no, he says that most of it's the almond fields. It's like because they're the #1 producer of almonds, and I'm like, I always thought avocados and oranges for California, but apparently almonds. Which now I'm gonna switch to rice milk because I don't know. I have to check. I have to research this because and it's also almonds are also killing bees. But
Yeah.
anyways, I just thought, wow, how close are we to actually the U.S. trying to take all our water?
Well,
But
We don't got much to spare right now.
5,
No, it's
6
true.
years.
My aunt's friends, he flew her 2 friends and someone up to the glaciers to propose to his fiance, and like there's a photo of them on the glaciers, and it's just rocks and green, like there's no ice. I was like, wow,
Climate change is real.
yeah.
Super real.
Anyone that doesn't believe in it is
Part of a death cult bent on the destruction of
Yeah.
mankind.
It was a really good week. I'm really excited. Also, Arclight. Oh, I love the first
What
one.
is Arclight?
I don't really know yet, honestly. It's very intriguing. The first one, I haven't read the second one. I looked into it a little bit, but it's a magic world. And what I can tell is like one person is like not bound, but like
Are they specialer than everybody else?
no, they're bound to this one person that has like sticks for face. That's the only way I can describe them. And from what I can see is she had a past and now she's in a new body, but there's like magic and you go on a journey. But in the first one, she ends up like there's obviously some tension with like the higher ups and stuff like that and whatever else. But honestly, I need to read more to understand. But that's all I actually read.
All right.
Can we?
We should wrap up and get out of here.
Bye. Night.
Remember to hit the subscribe button,
Like, share.
comment,
and the
subscribe.
thumbs up. Or the thumbs down. But
Nope.
don't.
No, don't even suggest it.